Good evening, everyone. We can start our panel discussion now. Thank you so much for investing your time with us on a Sunday evening. Experience gives us the test first and the lessons later. Today, we all will get the chance of learning from the lessons first. With the advent of college life comes the question of what next. With the fun of college life comes the responsibility of a better future. With too many career paths to choose from comes the confusion of what's our road to take. We at Wings of Fire SRCC present panel discussion, college, career, and everything beyond with alumni of our very own college, Shriram College of Commerce. Get ready with your queries to get all your confusions and dilemmas and get an insight on how to make your college life more purposeful and entering the professional field with confidence. I, Sandhya Pradhan, with my co-host Utkarsh, would like to welcome you all to the panel discussion. We both are going to be the moderator for the panel discussion. Let's welcome our panel members. I am honored by the occasion to extend my gratitude to both Mr. Shivam Johri and Mr. Rishi Kagde. Let's start with the panel discussion.
Okay, so it's literally a great privilege to have you here, Bhaiya. To get you aware, Shivam Bhaiya and Rishi Bhaiya are both alumni of Wings of Fire only. So first of all, I would like you to address the audience and just introduce yourself, who you are and why you are here to express your experience. You can start with Rishi Bhaiya. We can start.
Yeah, sure. So, hi guys, it's been a pleasure to be here and share my experience of all around what I have been in college and what I am doing right now. So, I graduated in 2020 last year from SRCC, and I was doing CA when I started my college life, but later then I realized that it is not what I wanted to do, and then laid out my hands in some startups, and now I'm working with Bain and Company with their private equity division, catering to Americas. And about my professional qualifications, I have recently cleared CFA level 1, and will continue my interests in finance and going forward. So yes.
So hey everyone, thank you for calling me for this particular session. So I am Shivam Johri. Even I graduated in 2020 along with Rishi. So we were friends in college. So talking about my journey from I started my college in 2017. Later on, I jumped to various courses in between of my college. So I started with CA Inter, then I jumped to CFA. And for a time, I even prepared for UPSC. And then I jumped for stock markets, and then I got into SEMA. So after juggling everywhere, I just got to know that, CA is something which is required to be done. And I'm pursuing my articleship right now from Grant Thornton in the statutory audit division. So wherein my work relates to doing compliance and audit of listed companies and private companies across North India. Yeah.
That's really great to hear. And the wide experience you have, we are sure that we'll be learning a lot from this session. So to start with, I'll be structuring the whole panel discussion in the form of a cricket innings, as I know that Shivam Bhaiya likes cricket a lot. So we'll be covering 11 questions today. The first 2 will be the openers, then we'll be having 5 to 6 middle orders, then there will be 3 tail ender questions. Yeah. So we can start the first question from here, and we'll be starting from the start, of course, when you entered the college. So first question will be addressed by Shivam Bhaiya itself. So how did you feel when you came to know that you got admission in the best commerce college of India, SRCC? Like you cleared the cutoff and you got admission on the day you paid the fees. So how was your experience? What are you going to do?
So I had a very strong experience, though I would like to share a moment. So I still remember the dates. The cutoffs were around on 19 June. And we had a CPT exam on 18th June. And after that, already I got admission into 2 of the other colleges in Southern India. So I got into Christ University and Loyola College, Chennai. So later on, what happened is we had some issues with the admission process. And actually I got by the first cutoff itself, but I couldn't come to college to get my admission. So I had and in between there was a day when there was a festival, and that particular day was very difficult for me. And when the second list came, the second day of process, I went, I got myself admitted there, and then I got a relaxation that yeah, I'm into the best college. But yeah, I was focusing more on CA at that time, that like completing your CPT just after your 12th standard. I was more focused towards CA, but yeah, eventually getting into SRCC changed my entire career path and the world, I would say. Yeah, it was a great experience, like a roller coaster. And obviously, if you are into the world's India's best college, what else do you want?
Exactly. So just one doubt, like a person can get admission in the second cutoff when he has cleared the first cutoff only.
Yeah, you can
Okay.
get that. No, I did not get in the second cutoff. I got in the first cutoff,
Yeah.
but on the third day. So the process
Oh.
generally goes for 2 to 3 days.
Yeah.
But you get that, you have that fear that like they should not miss you, right? So
Mhm.
obviously they have very less seats, and then that happens. So I got into the first cutoff, and yeah, it was a beautiful journey.
Yeah. Rishabh, yeah, you can also share your experience.
Yeah. So my mother actually filled the form for Delhi University, and I was like, okay, let's see where how the results comes and what to do next. But I was also mainly focused to do CA and CPT. I was like, let's give CPT, let's fill 2 or 3 forms, and we have some colleges here where I can get the admission. No bigger deal. So later then I realized that okay, I got into the first cutoff, and when I went there, there was some issue with my state board marks. So they said that you need an equivalency certificate for mathematics, and all. So when I went there, they were like, you need the certificate, and by the time I got the certificate, the 2 days were completed. So I also got eventually admitted in the third day, and it was like 4:35 p.m. when everything was closing, and I went there and I was like, I got the certificate. Give me some details like how to go about it. And I still remember. I guess there were Naveen sir only who helped me. Okay, give me your details. I'll forward it to the concerned person. So yes, that was it. And yeah, I feel very elated. And till now, it's when you think about that particular instance, you are like, oh my god, how did you made it there? And it's very good feeling to get admitted to one of the most prestigious colleges of India.
Yeah. So it's seriously like when we see our scorecards, no, like it happens. How did I score so much? How did I get 98, 99? So that's the feeling. And yes, the admission process is really hectic, and we are always concerned that what will happen, what will happen. Yeah. Sandhya, continue.
Yes, as we get to know that how the first day of admission feels like, and when we clear the cutoff at the very first cutoff, the feeling was amazing, and we just get to know about it. Let me ask a question to Rishi Bhaiya first. What were your plans regarding societies and academics when you just entered your college?
Okay, so I did not have any senior or anyone to guide me when I entered the college. All I knew was you have some clubs and some sort of extracurriculars that you need to do, and it was all on the basis of the introductory society introductions, what orientations that we have in our college. So by the time because it was a physical venture, and I hope you all guys will also be joining very soon to college in January, February. So there were like posters all the way around the college. There were word of mouth that do you know this, do you know that. So you eventually talk to people, and then you understand what sort of societies are there, what do they do. And I met Pavitra Bhaiya was the first senior whom I met in college, and then I met Shivam as well. So they were all connected, I guess, from Salem, from their hometown. So he guided me. He told me I was in dance society and I am in Wings of Fire. If you are pursuing CA, this will be a very good platform for you to excel. So he introduced me to societies. I got into 2 societies, which was FIC and CDF, but eventually could not continue it because of my inter exams. And then in third year, I came for Wings, and eventually the Wings journey was super cool as well. So talking about the societies, at first I was very intimidated by the people around me. They were super smart, and I was just a small town boy figuring out like what to do, what not to do. But yes, I guess this sort of environment only SRCC gives you, and then eventually you calm down and you understand what things are going on. You try on new things, and later you settle down. So yes, it was contemplating and intimidating starting May, but eventually it cooled down when you understood people are working towards it, and you need to work as well in order to be somewhere. So yes.
As rightly said, that even in SRCC we get competition, but there are plethora of opportunities from where we can work upon.
Yeah, sure.
So Shivam Bhaiya, what are your views over it?
So again, I have similar views with Rishi. Actually, even I come from a very small town from southern India. I had few seniors, and the best part about my college was my first year was the hostel. So I got into the hostel as well. So there were seniors who guided me in the initial days. They told me like how the societies work. And again, we all will be the toppers in our college, in our schools, right? But when you come here, you get the toppers across India. And when you are competing your toppers, it gives you the real challenge, right? So in the initial days, it was really difficult to cope with. It's just because you come from a very small town and you're not much aware about the opportunities you get. So even in the initial days, I got into 3-4 societies. I got into D Street, YC, and 2 more societies. I even don't remember it exactly. And Wings of Fire was something which I was connected from the very first day, maybe because I had seniors. So again, if you go through the history of Wings of Fire, it started from hostel. Right. So I had seniors over there who guided me on this, like, agar CA kar rahe ho, then get into this society. You will get a lot of people who will be pursuing the same course and who will help you around during the college days. So from there, the journey started. Eventually, like first 1.5 years of the first year, I spent a lot of time on my studies. Actually, like I focused more on CA because that was the first main focus of clearing CA inter. And eventually I was a part of union, and I did my extracurriculars in the time which I could which I could get in between. And after clearing my CA inter, I got into Wings of Fire, and I was also heading a post in union. So second year and third year went beautifully with Wings of Fire.
Yeah, that's really cool. The same happened with me actually also. Like the school we were in, it's not in Delhi. So societies and all were not the things which we knew earlier. So it was all after coming to college that we knew in 2 to 3 months. Okay, so moving on, we'll be going to the middle orders now. So in your opinion, does your college life at SRCC plays an important role in building up the career you currently have? Like talk about SRCC or talk about any top tier colleges. Shivam Bhaiya, you can take.
So yeah, I'll take up this. So actually, it's very true that SRCC plays a very major role in your skill development, in your personality development. And see, so if you come from such a premier institute, you get that tag your lifelong. So wherever you go, people will know you that you are an SRite, you are from an elite college, and they respect you for that. And again, developing your personality, you can figure it out that when you were in your first year and when you get out of the college, like in your third year, you get a lot of changes in yourself, like from your speaking skills to your communication to everything, maybe to your knowledge as well. So obviously college is something which I'll be remembering for my entire life. These 3 years were the beautiful years of my life. I made a lot of friends. You get to network with people a lot, and yeah, a lot of things are there which you get from your college. So if I ask you that, like, would you love to go back to your school? You'll obviously say yes, right? Because you are missing that particular life. And now since we are into corporate world, we are missing to come back to college. And it's just that whenever I get to come back to Delhi, I'll surely visit the college, and like you get those memories, you meet teachers, you meet your friends. That encompasses your entire life. You get those connections which are lifelong with you.
Yeah. Rishi Bhaiya, your views are the same? Or
Just adding to the point, just before this call, I had a chat with Shivam that college was the last moment of our life where we'll get friends, and after that, in professional life, we'll just know people or we'll just get acquaintances by which will be work related. So we eventually caught up in like 2 minutes after a very long time. Like we just took 2 minutes to caught up with everything what was going on in our lives in just 2 minutes. So talking about personal thing that you get very good people in college. They are very like, you have good friends, you make good friends. And talking about from a career perspective, yes, being a part of such a elite institution, you obviously get the brand value. You get to know communication skills and networking skills, and the people who are with you will eventually land up and go to big places. So you'll know them, and later in your life you'll have some sort of connection with respect to SRCC. So when I was looking for a job, or when I was looking for a change a few months back, so it was the case, like, if you message someone on LinkedIn and he's from SRCC and you are from SRCC, he'll definitely reply to you. No case that he won't reply to you. So such is the power and the brand, alumni brand, that we have. So whenever you go somewhere, if you find someone, you connect on some level to the college, be it on the infrastructure level, be it from the teachers, be it from the academics, be it from CA as well. Like, if I talk to someone like who was doing CA and who is not doing right now, I will connect him with like anything. So yeah, being a part of those 3 years, you are significantly changed, like from personality point of view as well. You get to network a lot, and you have a brand value with you for the rest of your lives. So yes, this should be my answer.
Yeah, definitely agree.
It's just that you would have heard this, right? You are the product of the people around you. So when
You,
you are
yeah,
dealing
right.
with people, you will be an elite, right? Later on in your life, and you'll be exiting out of your college. And again, as Rishi said, your alumni, they help a lot. So that's the only thing which you get. Even like I spoke to an alumni who passed out in 2000. So we could connect on Crossroads. Maybe you people might not be aware about what Crossroads is, but yeah, we could connect well. And obviously the college elections and the DU elections. So a lot of things are there where you can connect with your seniors on. So yeah, this is where college comes into play.
Yeah. So just a follow-up question I would like to ask, like, how similar is the corporate life from the work we do in societies or colleges?
Okay, so I would take this and you can continue it after my answer, Shivam. So being a part of society, you get to know how to communicate to people, how to approach to things, and you get into a system. Like, you understand a procedure. For example, if I have to organize an event, I need to follow a certain path, a certain pedagogy of things. Need firstly to get permission from the college, secondly to get sponsorships. If I am doing something which requires money, I cannot pour my money into it. So there is a proper system, proper procedures, and proper path laid down to each and everything that you do. And in corporates, it is like this only. So when you are doing a job, you are part of a system. You need to follow some rules and some procedures, and you need to contribute in that system in order to justify your role to the bigger picture that is out there. So being a part of society, you get to learn a lot. You from communicating to learning about the systems and procedures that are there. So these are the two major learnings which I got from being a part of society. And obviously there are certain different aspects to it as well. Like, for example, if you enter into a competition, you get to know how to research about a company, or how to search, how to approach to people, what are the ways in which you can prove your point. So yeah, there are a part of different things. But when you are a part of a society internally, a member of it, you get to know the systems, procedures, and the communication. These were the three key learnings for me being into corporate life.
Yeah, so like as we all know that societies work in different segments, right? So there'll be a corporate communications team and there'll be a creative team. We have different teams all together, and they come together to work on one particular objective, maybe to like go for a fest or something like that. And even corporate works in the same manner, that there'll be a lot of divisions into it, like the HR segment, the IT, the actual team which is on the front end, the back end team. So they all come together, they work together. So all you learn is the communication skills, the manpower management skills, basically. So when you are heading a particular society, you should know how to manage the manpower, right? So the people around you, you should also select the right candidate for your society. So again, it works similarly in the corporate world, that they hire the right candidate, which is their requirement, and they allocate him to the proper work they want, and they all work hand in hand. So obviously, it's just that your societies act as a practice match, whereas corporate is the real life test match. That's the difference.
Yeah, I completely agree.
You're allowed to do mistakes in your society, but you're not allowed to do mistakes in your corporate life.
And we just seen that how college life is not only full of memories, but also a chance where we can make our personality a great thing. And we can connect with our alumni, with our seniors for our help. Being a part of SRCC gives us these kind of opportunities. And we just see that how societies help in our personality development. But asking you a question to both of you, that what all things can be done to maximize our college life experience, especially since it's online now. So Rishi bhai, you can start with this question.
Sure. So I was like, this can be one of my biggest regret from SRCC, like not trying too many things. I was into doing a particular thing which was on my mind, and which is not bad if you think about it, but I was not flexible in my approach, and I did not take many chances. So I would say that if you want to make full out of your college life, do as many things as possible. Never be afraid, never be shy, never be hesitant to ask anything to anyone, be it your colleagues, be it your seniors, be it your teachers. Take part in competitions, do an internship, help a startup, maybe try something in your college, like do a course. If you want, you can also teach to your juniors as well. So everything that you do it with an objective that okay, I want to learn this. So for example, let's say if I want to learn about something about finance, I will take up a course, or I will ask seniors, or I will do a finance internship maybe. So do have a clear objective in your mind, and just go for it. Don't think twice, don't think thrice. You have full 3 years with yourself to try and experiment as many things as you can. So after you get out of college, you do not get those chances. You cannot leverage the brand and the platform that college gives you. So if, like, looking back at myself 3 years from now, 4 years from now, so if I would have to give an advice to a Rishi in 2017, I would say that try as many things as possible, be flexible, just be open to things, and whatever it may teach you, like the worst thing will be you'll lose, or you'll not get what you wanted, but the experience, the enjoyment of trying different things is just amazing, and you'll learn, you'll have a drastic change in your personality as well while you learn and while you grow. So yes, my only advice will be try without hesitating. These 3 years are just for you, and college being into such an elite and prestigious college, you'll make the most out of it.
Yes, we ourselves don't know that what can be a opportunity for us and can work for us. So trying out new things, definitely a great option for everyone to get to know at what place they can place.
Yeah, sure. I completely agree to it.
So
Yeah,
can you like to give your views over it?
Sure, guys. So it's just that these are the only 3 years where you get freedom from your home as well, right? So parents don't have much expectations from you, and these will be the only 3 years where you will be getting a lot of opportunities in your college. Like once you're out of college, you will be lacking on a lot of opportunities. So in these 3 years, try whatever you want to, like be it your passion, be it your profession, whatever you want to try, exploit every opportunity you get. We know that like a lot of us, we don't try things just because we have a fear that we might lose on it, right? But at least if you try that, you will get to know like is it for you or not. And these 3 years make a lot of mistakes, right? Like the maximum number of mistakes you make, you will be experiencing out of it. So as Rishi said, yeah, these 3 years, try everything, whatever you want. Like if you want to like pursue any course, go for it. And again, at the same time, you should also understand that these 3 years you have to balance your life as well, like enjoying on one side as well as focusing on your career is on the other side. Because again, these 3 years are the break or make or break situation of your life. Okay, so we all have worked hard till your standard 12. Now we have come to a very good college. Exploit these 3 years and make the best out of it.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing that everything is online now, so I don't think that's a problem, because in top tier colleges everything is going on online also. It is not like this competition is not being held or this party is not being held. So everything is online now, and we can learn in the same way as it was offline. So moving on to the next question now. As we talked about what we should do to maximize our college life experience, but the thing is how one can manage these things alongside. Like if we are looking to participate in competitions, participate in societies, and if we have our CA attempt in November, or for example, one is giving CAT attempt. So how one should manage this, like how to study and how to manage societies as well, because placements also matter.
Okay, so you need to be clear about your preparation and your strategy when you are preparing for a competitive exam, be it CAT, be it CA, or be it any other competitive exam like CFA. So you have to balance out things. You cannot lose on to many things in college, because each and everything in your CV will matter if you have taken it. So for example, if we had our confluence event for Wings of Fire, and one of my friend had level 2 attempt with it. So I know that he was equally contributing. He was clear with the time commitment that he'll give to the society or give to the other aspects that we asked him for, and then he'll go and study. So be clear with your communication to whomsoever you are communicating. Like for example, if there is a if there is a senior of yours who's asking you something, be clear with him, that tell him, I have a prior commitment, I have an exam, I'll allocate this much time, and then I'll move on with my studies. So yeah, I would suggest that you have to be clear with your seniors what you are trying to do and what you are doing, and very focused on each and every part of it, be it society or be it your professional exam. So yes. And I guess Shivam was also part of union, so he juggled between unions and exams quite a lot. So Shivam would be much more appropriate to answer this question.
Yeah, so guys, like the only thing which I follow is time management. Be clear with your priorities actually. So the only thing is, if you prioritize your studies or whatever it is, so we all should have a to-do list. Maybe that's very common. Everyone knows that, but keep prioritizing your things. For instance, in my first year, I knew that CA Inter is my priority. Okay. So I gave the utmost into it. At the same time, I knew that being part of societies is also important. I took those societies where the commitment is not humongous. Like you can manage both the things. So in the first year, once I completed my CA Inter, I knew that now it's the time I want to get into societies and learn a lot of things. So as soon as I completed my CA Inter, I got into union. I worked there for like proper 2-3 months. I took all the learnings which is required at that point in time. So again, you have to prioritize things. I had my CFA level 1 in December. So I knew in December of my third year, so I knew that I won't be able to like work for the first the semester 5. Okay, so at that time I clearly communicated with Rishi as well that yeah, I won't be able to contribute much to Wings. But as soon as I got over with my exams, I came back. I even worked in Confluence with Rishi. So like be communicative, prioritize things. That's the only way you can manage your things. Again, don't get into too many things, right? So at one point in time, get into 2 or 3 things which is manageable. Like if you get into 10 things, you won't be able to manage anything, and at the end you will end up feeling suppressed that yaar mere se kuch nahi ho paya, I'm a loser. So that's wrong, right? So go with a flow, have priorities. You should know what is supposed to be done and what is not to be done. That is more important.
Yeah, so the whole game is of priorities, and what you are doing, do it with full focus and full enthusiasm. We still recall how focused our seniors were while we were organizing winter school and CA conference. We saw Rishi B and Shivam B as well working very hard, hard at that time. Yeah, so Sandhya, you should continue.
Yeah, we just see that not only getting into many things will work for you, but also what are you doing and how much time you should take into, and prioritizing that is the main thing. So now moving on to our next question, we have just seen that societies and various competitions and internships do help in our personality development and do enhance our skills. But since both of you are now in your professional life and are in your part of your career, so what do you think? What is the main difference between the skills you learned in your college life and the skills you learned in your professional life now? So according to you, do you think that college teach you skills which no one can even teach you in your career or in your life, or are there any difference between both of them?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes. So the biggest thing that college gives you is an opportunity to fall, a platform for failures. Like, you can do as many mistakes as you can, and you don't have to pay any price for it in college. Like, you can fail in an event, you can fail in an exam, you can fail in a competition, you can have as many failures as you want in those 3 years, but you have to pay a price in your corporate life when you fail, be it in terms of money, be it in terms of a job, or a bad reputation from an organization. So uh, getting into college, and it connects to my previous point. Like, if you will experiment trying to figure out that what you like, you'll eventually fail. There will be things that you'll leave in between, or which you won't want to continue, and people won't get affected with that, as there is no price attached to it. But when you are committed, professionally committed in your career, in your job, you cannot say no to a thing, or you cannot say I won't do it. So in college, just a basic example, it was my wish to not wake up and not go to college, but it is not my wish right now to not wake up and not work for the company. So you have freedom, you have a platform to fall to, you can try as many things as you can, and you still have what you and you still are what you are, doing all those mistakes. But it's not the same when you go into a professional career or a professional job per se.
We all think that college is a place where we have to success, where there's so much competition in SRCC, and we have to be the first one in societies, in our classes, in exams and everything. But you just mentioned that failure is the thing which we should learn first, and then we should go on for the success. This is one of the key takeaway which I'm going to take away from this panel discussion for sure. Shivam Bhaiya, what are your views over it?
So like I have similar views with Rishi, because we dwell there very much. So college is the only place you get where you can do anything in life, but corporate is not the place. So in corporate, they have a lot of expectations from you. A lot of people are dependent on you, right? So if you are into an assignment or an engagement, a lot of things work upon you. Maybe the client is also dependent on you. But wherein if you fail at any one point in time, your reputation, and not only yours, along with you, the company's reputation goes in hand. So that's very important, that you cannot fail in a corporate life. Whereas in college, it's up to you. Whatever you do, you have no one is going to ask you anything. You go 10 minutes late to the class, no one will ask you. You don't go to college, you don't attend exams, no one will ask you. But at the end, you have the right of yourself. So utilize that in a positive way, taking that, exploiting everything and enjoying your life. That is also important. But again, in corporate life, the work-life balance becomes very difficult. But you have that edge in college. Like, you can balance your life along with all the pressures you handle. As you said, Sandhya, that we think of succeeding in college, right? But like, succeeding in college is nothing. But maybe we'll be thinking that a person who is getting the highest package is such a successful person, right? But you might not be knowing that he may not be happy with his package, because he's in an environment where people will be getting more package than him. Okay, so it's more up to the satisfaction you have, that I have tried everything in my life, and you won't have that regret of not doing anything.
True.
Exactly. Yeah. So we'll be now moving on gradually to the third year of our college now. So this was one of the most asked questions from our participants who are participating in this session. So they have asked that what is a suggestion for students who want good placements at the end of the graduation? What activities must he perform? What should he do to actually get a good placement?
Okay, so I guess this question should be approached in a different way. It should not be how to get good placement, but it should be how do I get a placement which is of my interest. I know people who have got placements and who were not happy with what they were doing, and they eventually switched. So uh, placements is not the right thing, but doing what you like is eventually the right thing, because after a point you will realize that money and the brand won't matter to you, but the satisfaction of the work that you are doing will matter to you. But it's a later thought to be pondered upon. To answer your question, how to get good placement is your ability to stand out of the crowd that is there with like within your peers. How well do you stand out? How do you differentiate yourselves with everyone who is out there? So I recently have had a session with Seekho. So there also many participants asked me this question, like how do we stand out if we are not from a great college? Like they didn't have the brand of a good college as well. So I suggested that if you want to stand out, you need to try different things. You need to justify your position, like you can take responsibility. You are well aware about the situation and the environment you are willing to work. For example, very basic example to start with, if a consulting company comes in our campus for consulting job offer, and it's a hot shot placement opportunity for everyone. So a major thing is they'll ask about the case studies and guesstimates. So everyone is like preparing the case studies and guesstimates, but nobody asks like why am I doing it, and how do I get shortlisted for that consulting company. So if you look at consulting as a business, they want people who are analytical, who have strong communication power, and who can take responsibilities of what they are doing. So if you can prove these 3 points in your CV, analytical thing may come from doing an internship, maybe taking responsibility, maybe taking a position of responsibility in your college, be it in any society, and strong communication should be like how well you communicate in your interview. So in order to get a placement, you need to think from employer's perspective what he's trying to gauge on me. Similarly, in case of a finance company, for example JPMC, which visits our campus, JPMC might not look for someone who is well about um, uh, like they obviously look for the basic things, but they might look for a candidate who is well versed with the financial concepts, who is well versed with free cash flows, who's well versed with the different type of sectors, capital markets, and other finance suitings like treasury, bonds, fixed income, equities, etc. So you need to think what the employer is trying to gauge from you, and you need to stand out of other people. And to stand out of other people, you need to justify what you are doing. So for this entire thing, if you have some decent amount of time left with your college life, I would say that leveraging your college brand, you can try enter into startup world, you can try corporate world as well. People are open to work, you can help them. Even I know a guy who is not from SRCC, who is a BCom graduate, and who is now into a company, a software developer. So he learned during the lockdown all the coding and all stuff, and he's interning with a company now as a software developer. So it's all about your interest, how you justify it. So if someone says me that I am a commerce graduate and I want to do software engineering, I'll be shocked, right? But he was able to justify with his projects and his interest, and he was able to communicate that I wanted this position, and I am well suited for it. So you need to take this point at the face value, like how can you communicate, how can you justify, and how can you stand out from the crowd. And this you can do this by doing as many things as possible, experimenting yourself as many times as you can.
Okay, so just a common doubt, like is it harder to get placement in the college itself? Like everybody is of SRCC, so only a few of them will be shortlisted. Or is it harder to get a placement off campus because we are SRites? So we'll get there and we are like, we are from SRCC, so we automatically get highlighted.
It is very easy to get placement in college because because the companies are hunting students, but when you go out, you will be scarce of the opportunities, scarce of the good opportunities that are there. So it won't be a matter of the competition exactly, but it will be a matter of the opportunity that is there. So if you are in SRCC, it gives you a full year of opportunities that comes to you saying at your face that, oh hey, please come to us, we are offering this position. But in the outer environment, you need to go there and ask them that, hey, I am doing this, can you please help me with an interview, and can I get in your position? So it's the inverse game that is being played outside, but in college you are getting invited for the placements. So yes.
Okay. Shivam bhaiya, your views?
Yeah, similar views. Yeah, it's just a demand supply game. So when you're in college, companies come to you, and when you're out of college, you go to the companies. So that's the only difference college makes to you. And it's comparatively, I won't say it's very easy to get placements in college, but it's not that difficult to, because getting into placements require a lot of things on your CV right from the very first year. Like 2 years you enjoy, and at the end of the third year you expect that A1 company should come and take you. That's not going to happen, right? So you have to work on your CV as well, because the people along with you are also from the same background. All are toppers from school, all are at the same place, and how they have made their 3 years is what makes them stand out. So these 3 years, be it is not necessary that you should be from a very elite society, or you should have done a very good internship to get into a good company. It's rather than how you could justify what you have done and how it is in line with your interests. That matters a lot. So if whatever you have done during your internship or during your society is matching with your career objective or the point of focus, and if that is also matching with the company's objective, they'll obviously shortlist you and they'll take you for their company, right? So that's what it matters. Everything should be in line with each other.
Cool. That's great.
Yes. So we just see that everyone thinks when we are in first year that we have to get into only in top societies. They think that getting into top societies will make their CV stand out. But we just got to know that it's not the thing. We just need to find our interest and our willingness to learn. Each and every place in SRCC has plethora of opportunities which we can't see from the first day of our first year. We just need to explore each and everything we can in our SRCC journey. Now, my next question will be that what backup options do you think one should have in case one creates self-doubt on the decision of choosing a particular career? We just see that satisfaction is the main thing which we should all focus on instead of the how are we measuring our success. So this question would be, I will ask to Rishi Bhaiya first, that according to you, what backup options do you think one should have in case one creates self-doubt on the decision of choosing a particular career?
Okay, so starting, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. So starting when I joined the college, I was into chartered accountancy and I was adamant about doing it. So eventually, while doing group 2 and while giving the exams, I was like auditing and taxation, this is not what I want to do, and this is not what I feel doing okay and for the rest of my life. So I sat down, I thought a bit, I asked Shivam as well that auditing is not my interest, what should I do? I want to go and venture into finance. He suggested me to give CFA level 1 and try getting an articleship in maybe an M&A division. So because our careers were aligned towards CA. So I was not shortlisted, and I was not sure, in fact, to even go for placements in my first 6 months of third year. So I skipped, we didn't take seriously any placements that came to, in the first season of our placement cycle. And then I applied for articleships which were there in February as a backup option for me. I got into KPMG, I got into PwC, I got into Deloitte. Only EY was left. So I had three articleship backup offers with me. That was for Mumbai. And then I thought like, okay, this is so sure what I do not want to do. I had the internship interview experience with the managers in all of these three firms, and they gave a brief about what sort of work you will be doing. So then I thought that, okay, I need to figure out what I want to do. And then I sat for placements. I got my first placement in a fintech company based out of Mumbai. Then eventually we have a second offer as well for the placement season. And then I got into another company, which was also into fintech. So I was like, let's try this before we actually go for an articleship, because I still have 1 year to figure out if I can figure it out, I can change my career path. If not, I will go back to CA again. So yes, talking from a career standpoint, a backup option, college itself is a backup option, even if you do not do any CA or do not pursue any professional course, because the brand value is itself above par to uh, any normal college that is there. So you can obviously go into, even if you do not do chartered accountancy, you can go into an auditing firm, EY, Deloitte, and ask them for placements, and they'll give you an opportunity to do other professional courses like CPS, CIMA, and ACC as well. So I know few people who are working with auditing companies who have not done CA, but they are financing and sponsoring their foreign degree courses in auditing and taxation as well. So yes, college name is itself a backup option to you. But if you have to be sure about creating a backup option, create an interest and continue to pursue that interest for a long time, maybe 1 year, 1.5 year, and then you have a clear cut path on your CV or your profile that, hey, this was my interest and I have continually worked for it for a quite long time, so I can be a good candidate for the profile or for the job that you are offering. So yes. And from certificate or courses point of view, Shivam can give a very detailed answer about every CFA, CA, and CIMA course. So if anyone wants to pursue, he can also message us, any one of us, about the professional courses as well. We would be happy to guide. Shivam, you can proceed from here.
So when I came to college, again, the sole purpose of getting into college was to have it as a backup option if you are doing CA. So again, we know that CA has a very less pass percentage, and it's very difficult to get out of it. Like anyone can enter, but getting out is difficult. So when I approached in my college, like after 1 year, I thought of like having one more backup actually. So I was not satisfied with SRCC having as a backup. I tried CFA. It's just because it was in line with my interest. I wanted to explore finance because I already had an internship with a mid-size firm and a big four firm. So when I interned there, I got to know that your audit and taxation is something which is very traditional and which requires a lot of expertise in that particular subject. And I was more keen towards finance. So I started exploring the finance area. I started exploring stock markets. I did CFA. And as soon as I completed my CFA level 1, I got to know that what part of finance is more close to me. I'm not much into mergers or acquisitions kind of thing, but more towards the markets, the active markets, the derivative markets, and the stock markets, basically the equity market. So I got to know that, yeah, in finance, if I want to make a career, I'll go in that particular sector. Later on, I jumped to one more course. Like I had this idea of pursuing UPSC. So I started preparation in between for almost 2.5 months. And I got to know at that point in time that, like, this is not the time that I should pursue this particular course. It was just that I was a few of my friends, very close friends, were pursuing UPSC. So being with them, I got that inclination towards that particular course. And later on, after 2.5 months, I self-realized that this is not the right time. Maybe I should give a little more time to myself to get an answer from my inner mind that, yeah, should I go for this or not? So at that point in time, I stopped it. And after that, I switched to one more course to explore the management side of a company. So generally what happens is, if a person wants to end the course at one point in time, he's not ready to leave that course. It's just because he thinks that a lot of people around him will mock at him that you are a loser. But it's not like that. It's that if your inner mind says that this is not for you, just leave it. It doesn't harm you. Like, you should know, right, what is in line with your thoughts. If you're pursuing a course which is not in line with your thoughts, you will be in a guilt inside. Maybe you might have CA, CFA or anything in front of your name, but you won't be living happily. So at that point in time, I realized that let's now juggle into the corporate management side, which is completely managing the corporate, not only the finance department. So this course was again offered by SRCC. They have an MOU with Certified Institute of Management Accountants. So I got an opportunity there. I got selected from the entire batch of mine, and then I pursued that course. After completing that course, I got to know the difference between an Indian course and an international course, actually. So there's a very huge difference in between that. And I must say that each one of you should at least go through the syllabus, what they have in their books. I'm not like making you people to go and pursue a course. Rather, just go through their course. What do they do? And that's the reason why they're 10 or 20 years ahead of us, right? And talking about the backups, see, a lot of people, again, it's two sides of the same coin. People without a backup perform well rather than a person having a backup. It's just because if you don't have a backup, you have a mindset of like, agar ye nahi kiya to you won't be able to do anything in your life, right? So you have to take that risk of like, you want to have a backup or not. Not having a backup is also a good thing, that it will push you to do whatever it is, and having a backup. So I'll tell you a real example. I had a very good friend from college, and he got into Bain as well in the third year of college. As soon as he got into Bain, he was preparing for CAT actually for like past 6-7 months. As soon as he got into Bain, he left his preparation. He did not attempt his CAT. So he got a backup. His mindset was to get a backup before an MBA, before going for CAT. But as soon as he got a backup, he did not give his CAT, and still now he's preparing for it. So later on, he realized that I should have given at that point in time. So again, sometimes backup also backfires you. So keep that in mind as well.
Yes, rightly said that backup, whether having a backup or not, it totally depends on the interest of the individual. Whether having a backup may work for that individual and may not work for that individual. With that, of course, Bhaiya can continue.
Yeah, and like I'm really feeling privileged here. I'm having someone who has done so many things in life, tried everything, literally everything. So that's really great. And talking about Rishi Bhaiya, 3 of the big fours as a backup is insane. Like, it's very good. Yeah, so now we'll be moving on to the tail enders now. The next question will be very related to the society itself. How did Wings of Fire help you to ignite your wings? Like, you both were the part of Wings of Fire. So how did this society help you? So before the answers, I'd like to show some of the slides to our audience here. Om, please share the screen. Like, we'll be showing what our alumni are currently doing and what they have done. Yeah. Yeah, you can switch on. Okay, so as you can see, we are not only limited to chartered accountancy only, we have a lot more. We have someone placed at JP Morgan Chase and Company. We have CFA level 2 candidate. She has scored AIA 12 and CA intermediate as well. We have people from Marico. We have people from the big fours doing articleship, like they are at KPMG, they are at EY. We also have consultancy people here, senior associate at BCG, Adarsh Agarwal Bhaiya. So it's not like professional courses mean only CA. We are going to cover everything like CAT, consultancy, CAs, or everything. The next slide, please. Yeah, we have Suryansh Agarwal. He has scored AIR 1, I guess. He had AIR 1 in CA final. He is a finance manager at HUL. We have Bhumika Sankladi, Sahibdeep Bhaiya. He has rank in both CA and CS as well. We have Pranit Bhaiya, placed at Nomura as an analyst. He's also a CFA level 2 candidate. Then next slide, please. Then these are our immediate seniors. We have again JP Morgan Chase and Company, then someone placed at KPMG, someone at EY, and Harsh Somani Bhaiya, he is currently enrolled into IAMC. So we have covered everything. It's not only like CA, IIMs, consultancy firms, placements, everything is covered at Wings of Fire. Yeah. So yeah, Rishi Bhaiya, you can continue with how did Wings of Fire help you? You were the former president of Wings of Fire as well. So
Okay,
please share your experience.
so few minutes before I just said that if you message someone on LinkedIn stating that you are from SSCC, they'll reply you. But if you message someone from Wings of Fire, they'll give you a time that, hey, this is the time that I am calling. Be ready with your questions. I'll answer you each. I'll answer and help you and give you all the resources that are out there. So the alumni network, the people who are there, they are very, very helpful in each and everything you do. I still remember after getting into KPMG, I messaged like 50 people from Wings, from LinkedIn, from like random people doing certain things, that I am confused at this juncture of my life that what I want to do. And Wings people were so elaborative and so helpful with all the messages. I still remember Shubham Baveja call. He is into IIM and he is currently working with BCG. We had a chat for like 1.5 hours, and he had his exams the next day. So he was like, "Don't worry, I went through the same thing." And then don't worry at all, just go with your gut and help me in each and every way that is possible. I still reach out to my seniors, be it Mahimadi, be it Bhumika, for us even a silliest doubt that is there in CFA or in my career. So someone wrote same experience, too much relatable. Oh yes, great. So the people connect with you and are super helpful to you. They'll take out time for you. They'll take out even if they don't know that how to like guide you, they'll find some people for you and they'll connect with you with them. So being at Wings of Fire and getting to connect with those so great stalwarts out there in whatever they are doing is of utmost great help to each and every one of us. So being a part of society, it's not about being in college when you are part of society, but it will be about 20-30 years from now that every person whom I will associate who will be there in Wings of Fire, I can associate himself with me, and I will be there helping him as people helped me when I was stuck at that point of time. So yes, the experience speaks for itself, the alumni network speaks for itself, but being a part of society, you get to connect with them even if you don't know them, and they'll go extra mile, extra effort for you to help you. So yes, this like Pavitra Bhaiya was my first senior, and you just message Pavitra Bhaiya with anything. He is super helpful of being super helpful. He goes to extra mile for you in anything, be it your personal thing, be it your professional thing, career thing. He so yes, we I have a different sort of love for all the Wings member and the alumni network. So I won't ever stop talking about it. So you can just mute me and take Shivam, you can take over.
To be honest, Wings of Fire was a family for me away from home. So these 3 years, like we were more than something called as friends. Actually, like whenever you have a issue with yourself, maybe a personal problem or you have a professional problem, you reach out to them. I still remember an incident. So it was my second day of articleship, and I was given a huge pile of work and very less time. I was stuck somewhere with some of the Excel functions. I immediately called one of my senior who was working in Deloitte. Oh, and he was in his second year of articleship. He took out his time for almost half an hour. He helped me with the solutions, like what can be the best possible way to get out of this. So that's what Wings of Fire brings in for us. We have a huge alumni network, obviously, and they don't act as a senior; they act as a bhaiya or didi for you, actually. So they can easily connect to you. They help you at the end moment, at the 11th hour, whenever you need help. Or suppose I even remember a thing. So 2-3 days back, I guess one of my junior texted me So I was in a class actually, and she wanted to get something clarified. So I took 5 minutes out of it and I clarified that to her. So that's what the connect brings in. So this is the place where you can reach out to any of your seniors, even if you don't know them. So many of you must be passing out in 22, 23, 24. So you can even connect to the people like from the 2017 batch or the 16 batch pass outs, right? So they'll be even more helpful to get to the corporate insights. At the same time, if you want to just know about how to get an articleship or how one should face articleship phase or any other course you want to do, so you have immediate seniors upon you. So you have a variety of people on whom you can depend upon. So that's what Wings of Fire is for me. So these 3 years are really beautiful. I was still in connect with one of my seniors today afternoon. I was discussing with him my CA final plans. He has recently cleared his CA like a year back. So I was discussing my CA final plans with him. He told me like this would be the right way to approach a final exam. So that's what it is. So even people like me or Rishi, we have done a lot of things in our college life. Still, we require that particular support from our seniors. So that's where Wings of Fire comes into place.
Exactly. I also recall my days of first and second years. Like the seniors were super helpful. There was no hurdle of asking anything. One feels no like, should I ask or should I not? But no, Wings is a family, and whatever we may ask, seniors were always there to help. Yeah, so Wings is just a feeling. Sandhya, you may continue.
Being a part of SRCC does bring us a lot of connections and LinkedIn networks, but being a part of Wings of Fire definitely brings us a part of our family, which we can never forget. Here we have our seniors who are so helpful. Even I can recall, I'm in my second year, and even I have my seniors with me who are very helpful. They are just a call away or a message away. And being a part of Wings of Fire provides you a lot of opportunities to learn. Here, everyone wants to just learn, and the seniors are so helpful to guide you in each and everything. Now, moving towards our next question, that what would be your advice in a nutshell to all the first years who are going to start their journey of these 3 years?
Can you come again, Sandhya? I guess there's some network issue.
Yeah, sure. So coming to our last question, the question is that what would be your advice in a nutshell to all the first years present here who are going to start their journey of these 3 years?
So first thing I would say is, guys, you're at the best place. Enjoy your life for the 3 years. Like just now you've completed your 12th standard, being into the COVID times and coming out of it, like must be a very stressful situation for you people, because we never had a situation of like, इसमें exam हो रहे हैं, नहीं हो रहे हैं, we don't know. So you people have been through a lot of things. So come here, meet people, make a lot of friends, enjoy. At the same time, balance out with your studies as well, because you cannot toss any one thing. Even if you're more into studies, it might affect your friendships, the connections you make. And at the same time, if you go with a lot of fun, it will surely affect your studies. So make a balance out of it. Relax, chill, enjoy, be focused as well. And whenever you like, if you are stuck at anywhere, just ping your seniors, ping your friends nearby you, talk to the teachers. I still remember I had an issue with my subject in college. So I approached Ashwini Bajaj sir, Anil Kumar sir. They are very senior to us. We think that they might not be approachable, but they are really very helpful. You just go with your problem to them, they'll give you the entire solution. And either if they don't have a solution, they'll connect you with the right people. So just try speaking to a lot of people, make yourself confident, enjoy, and live your life. That's what I would say. Talking on the professional front, obviously, you all are toppers. You will be working hard. That's for sure. Just keep that. The one more point I would like to add on here is school is completely different from college. In school, you were pushed to study. You are supposed to give the test. They used to conduct tests, but college is not like that. College is something where you have to push yourself. The only day you'll be giving your test will be the day of the exam. There won't be any tests in between. So on the day of exam, you might be realizing that yeah, kuch to miss ho raha hai. Like we used to be very studious in school, but not here. What's the reason? It's just that you have to be present. You have to have a presence of mind that you have to prepare on yourself, be self-reliant. And being self-reliant is the only thing I would say in college, because you are independent, you have a lot of freedom. Use it in a rightful way. Rishi is there?
Yes. Sorry, I just got disconnected. Light chala gaya tha, so I joined from my phone. Um, yes. So adding to Shivam's point, you have a full set of 3 years with you, more than 900 days with you to experiment, to see what you are going to do for the rest of your lives, to experiment with yourselves, your skills, to enhance yourself, to get to know as many people as you can in those set of 3 years. And yes, as Shivam said, even the teachers as well, you can talk to teachers about your failures, about your setbacks, and they'll be there for you to guide you. But this is not the case in a professional setup. So yes, you do enjoy a lot in your college life, but you have a situation to either make or break your career as well. So uh, be very mindful of the things that you are doing. Do not fall into any negative things that happen around you. uh, Try as many things as you can, and yes, all the best. That's what we can say right now. So yes, that's it from my side.
And to the 2024 batch, you can reach out to any one of us, be it your college seniors or be it who are passed out. You can reach out to us with any of your queries or any of your doubts in case you have any, and we'll be happy to help you.
This is the best thing of Wings of Fire. Like we don't know each other, but then also.
Yeah.
You are muted, Sandhya.
With this, we have come to an end with our panel discussion. Within an hour, we have covered a lot. A lot means which we can't measure. Learnings from how failure and success are two different things, and failures is the thing which we should focus on in our college. And success does not depends on only on our level, which we measure with our marks or with our placements, with the internships we are getting, but it depends on the satisfaction and our interest. At the end, I would like to thank you all for joining us. We are getting close to the end of our time together. Learning from our seniors not only about the college life, but also utilizing the same for building a professional life is the major key takeaway for today. At the end, preparing for your career, don't forget to give time to yourself. Everything comes to an end, makes a new beginning. Here we are ending our panel discussion, but it also starts an amazing journey for batch 2024 as to what is the best thing can get other than the learnings of experienced seniors. With this note, I would like to thank to our panel members, Mr. Shivam Johri and Mr. Rishi Kagwe, for taking out time and guiding us, sharing their real life experiences, and our audience for taking out a Sunday evening and listening us patiently. Before ending our panel discussion, there is an announcement for everyone. Orientation of Wings of Fire SRCC is going to be on 22nd of December. I'm sure after this panel discussion, you all must be wanted to know how can you be a part of Wings of Fire SRCC. Today, you all just get a glimpse of it. For knowing about the plethora of opportunities one can get here, do attend the orientation on 22nd of December. With this note, we are ending our panel discussion here. Thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Veya.
Thank you so much, guys, for hosting us.